Yeah, and what happens is if you take a look at history, Frederick the Great said it the best, is that he basically advocated that anything that could be produced in his own nation, which was Prussia, he would not allow another product in his country at a cheaper price. He said that if you do that, what you're going to do is you'll be developed into an economical dumping ground, which the United States and Canada is at this time. And also what happens is I'm someone who advocates the Republic of Canada. I basically advocate giving it back to the people, telling the current leaders that are in, we're not going to respect you. Please, we're going to change the system and make it more fair and entrench our rights and freedoms within pieces of paper, not have them as, oh, well, the courts can step in and take away this right, and the court can step away and take away that right. No, what that is you're allowing the puppet masters who's pulling the strings of the politicians who are nothing more than puppets to dictate the terms to us, just as you've been saying, James.
Well, one thing that I found interesting that you just said is the Republic of, you call it Canada, which is the native term for Canada, the upper or lower Quebec, or Canada, I believe it came from. The Republic of whatever you want to call it, Canada is a decent idea. But maybe we should throw this out to your listeners. The NDP and the Liberals in a fall session have sat for 5 days in the province of British Columbia. The government of Canada have just shut down for 2 months. So really, maybe we should ask ourselves as citizens, if these guys aren't working for us, why are we still paying them their $100,000 a year tax jobs when we're making $50,000 to less $1,000? I mean, Canadians and your British Columbian listeners have got to understand that the housing crisis that is taking place in the States is going to happen in BC. All these suckers, and I say that because that's the truth, who bought these homes in Vancouver for $750 and $850, they better get their keys ready to drop them off at the banks because they don't make enough money to pay for it unless they're growing dope in their basement. And that's why the government's trying to stop that. So anybody who doesn't think that we're not headed towards a economic crisis, back in the 1930s in the Depression, nobody had home equity lines. You were a loser if you had a double mortgage, credit cards, department stores. That's all we have. You go to a Costco and you watch people buy their groceries and they're putting it on a Visa or a MasterCard. What's going to happen in a month when the economy shuts down and people are losing their jobs? I mean, that's the reality of it. And then we have these politicians who say they work for us, but yet they shut down Parliament, they shut down the provincial legislature, and they don't actually attend the session to actually hammer out bills or work for us. Maybe as Canadians, we should think about governing ourselves. Anarchy rules. To hell with the red tape, because governments throughout time and history have led us to wars, have caused empires, but real people haven't. And I think maybe that we as people should look at that, because they're not working for us. In fact, they're working against us 100%. And we need to wake up to that fact. I mean, that's just truth. That's not out there. I mean, when the fall session for the BC provincial legislature, 5 days. Can any of your listeners tell me that they go to work in the fall for 5 days and then they get paid their $100,000? Do you work for 5 days a year, 5 days in a fall session, Reg, and get paid $100,000 for that? Hell, I know I don't. So, I mean, why are we paying these guys that? Why are we paying our taxes? Why do we recognize the Canadian dollar as a dollar when it's not backed by anything? It's not even backed by gold. It's not backed by silver. It's a piece of paper. It's actually more of a GD piece of paper than the American Constitution. I mean, that's the truth. And maybe we should start looking at this matrix system that we live in and dealing with it and addressing it. Why elect these people when they don't obviously, clearly work on our behalf? Because they're not. Because if they were, we wouldn't be in the position we are today, with mills shutting down, pulp mills shutting down, wood mills shutting down. We would not be in that position. We would have manufacturing jobs. And I'm not saying we have to, I don't have the answer, but the problems are pretty obvious, and we need to start working on solutions. Right? Well,
that's true, James. It looks like you got to wrap it up. We only have about 30 seconds left in the show. Could you leave us with some quick notes and also an email how the listening audience can contact you just in case they want to ask any additional questions we didn't talk about today?
Sure. My email is richflack, RICHFLACK, at shaw.ca. And I just want your listeners to look at the fact that Canada is not governed by the Liberal Party, the Conservative Party, or the NDP. It's actually governed by the Council of Foreign Relations, the Trilateral Commissions, the Bilderberg Group, and the royal family and the Bloodlines. That's who governs our country. And until we realistically have the strength and the courage to come out and talk about this, these problems are going to continue forever. I mean, that's the truth. We need to have the courage to call these people out for what they're doing.
Well, thank you very much, James. And James is going to be at my book release this Thursday at a Small World Shop and Gallery. I'm going to be releasing my first ebook. I'm going to be donating 50 cents off of each ebook sold to a nonprofit diabetic foundation out of the U.S. And another additional 50 cents off of each ebook sold is going to go up to the war resistors. That was James Flack, and this is Co-op Radio 102.7 FM, CFRO. This is Monday Brown Bagger. My name is Reginald Angus Argue. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great day.